addiction, and my name is Abdur. And I'm truly here today by God's grace and God's mercy, and I'm pleading before the grace of God, the program of Narcotics Anonymous. I'd like to thank Almighty God for getting me here from Providence, Rhode Island, in one piece to serve Him and serve this program called Narcotics Anonymous. I'd like to thank Hanif and his home group. I believe it's another day for inviting me to come down here and share about a life that I thought and was told was a failure. And before I even get going wherever God is directing me to go, because He is driving and I'm going to take the back seat, and that's something new, it's appropriate that I open up with our service prayer, because it's a form of service in Narcotics Anonymous. And it says very simply, God, grant us knowledge that we may write according to your divine precepts. Instill in us a sense of your purpose, and make us servants of your will, and break us the bond of selflessness. It's not a selfish program. I'm going to show you what 17 and what sound like. That this may be truly your work, not ours, in order that no addict, in order that no addict, black addict, white addict, straight addict, gay addict, Catholic addict, Christian addict, Muslim addict, atheist addict, young addict, old addict, skinny addict, fat addict, HIV negative addict, HIV positive, male addict, female addict, in order that no addict anywhere need die from the horrors of addiction. Once again, I'm an addict recovering from the disease of addiction, and my name is Abdur. And today, God has chosen for me to serve on a workshop called Commitment to Recovery. Before I even get into commitment to recovery, I need to tell you what I was committed to before I found out what recovery was. I was committed to selling my soul. I was committed to selling my ass. And I was committed to selling your soul and your ass so I could get what I wanted when I wanted it. And then when I got it, guess what? I didn't even want it. Pain on top of pain. I picked up when I was 11 years old, and before the grace of God, 1 month before my 23rd birthday, I found the fellowship and program of Narcotics Anonymous. Next month I'll be 29, and I haven't found it necessary to put the long white coat on and go back out and do any more research. Just for today. Relapse is not a requirement. It's a reality. It happens. But it says in recovery and relapse that we have never seen. Never. That's a long time. Never seen a person who lives the Narcotics Anonymous program relapse. But that's the enemy who say it works if you work it. The literature says it works if you did it. Yes, I am a basic text quoter. Yes, I don't believe in giving my opinion in the rooms of Narcotics Anonymous, because it says that when we give newcomers our opinion, we lose their respect. I had no respect when I got here. I had to earn it. I did a lot of work to earn that respect. I'm not trying to lose what I worked so hard to earn. So I'm going to come from the heart. I'm going to come from our literature, because I haven't outgrown the literature. In the 6 years that I've been clean, but for the grace of God, Friday was 6 years for me. Congratulations. Miraculous program going on. My message to you is that if I can do it, so can you. Because the only way that I believe that I could do this was by believing that other people believe they can do it, who believe from other people who believe that they can do it. So believe that I can do it, and have somebody else believe that they can do it. Commitment to recovery. Let's talk about my commitment to my disease called addiction. Let's talk about Kunta Kinte COVID. Let's talk about being told when to eat, what to eat with, who to eat with, how to dress, what to wear it, when to go home if there was a home to go to, when to shower if you had a chance, or find a place to shower. Commitment. I was committed to a way of life, and I had no way of getting out, because I didn't know about Narcotics Anonymous. I didn't know about rehabilitation. I had no acknowledgement of any of these spiritual principles. I knew nothing about recovery. All I know is that when I picked up, I did whatever my disease told me to do. And on August 31st of 1989, I found myself in a crack house, in a rat-infested, roach-infested crack house, on my knees, in broken glass, and in urine, and in human feces, sucking a man's penis, swallowing his tongue to get another bag of cocaine. And I'm not a homosexual. And guess what? If I was a homosexual, I definitely would have done something heterosexual to get high. That's how powerful this disease called addiction is. I'm here to tell the truth about me. I don't know what happened to anybody else. That's right. Come on. I know what happened to me. I know the worst story I've ever heard in Narcotics Anonymous is Abdur. And the day I could give that my story was the worst, guess what? I'm going out and writing a few more pages, and I might not be back here to tell you about the book. Remember when, so you don't do it again. If it wasn't the last day you used Abdur, guess what? It wasn't the last day you used Abdur. 89. Hospitals and institutions. I'm forever grateful for hospitals and institutions. They came and carried the message to me freely. People took time out of their lives to come and give me something free that would give me something back that Donald Trump was about. Talking about an inside job. I'm talking about I had no self-esteem, no self-worth. When I looked in the mirror, I cringed at what stared back at me. I was fat. I hated myself. I was picked on as a kid. I was always picked last when it was time to play basketball. Picked last when it was time to play football. And even if you picked me first, I still felt like you picked me last. That's right. I lived to eat and I ate to live. I ate to ease my pain and discomfort, and eating caused me a far greater pain and discomfort. I went to school, and after a while, I wouldn't eat in front of everybody. I would starve myself because the whole lunchroom would shut down and watch the way I ate and what I ate. It would make jokes and make bets. It would purposely give me their food to watch me eat. I was in the 5th grade, I was 250 pounds. I hated myself. I hated the way I felt, but I couldn't do nothing about the way I felt. So I ate. And I would eat in isolation. Because I couldn't eat in front of this, I would starve myself. And then when I got home, you know what I mean? Obsession now. Here we go. Obsession and compulsion. That fixed idea, not the perfume. Obsession. Oh, I can't wait till I get home. I'm picturing that sticky, super tough peanut butter in my mind. That Buster's bread jam. That ice cold milk, them chips. Thinking about it in class. Can't focus on my work. Can't focus on nothing. I'm in a fixed idea. Trapped by the need for instant gratification. 11 years old before the drugs. The disease was apparent before I used a substance called narcotics. And then when I got home, I'm going to have just one sandwich, just one glass of milk. But guess what? Having started with that one fix, one pill, one drink, one sandwich, one soda, one chip, one double dog, one nut. Let's go here. Another obsessive-compulsive behavior, masturbation. I'll get there later. I couldn't have just one sandwich. I had to have 2 and 3. And then it progressed to 4 and 5. And then my family got worried. They sent me to Weight Watchers, not because I felt I needed to go, because they felt I needed to go. So guess what? It's like when we send somebody up to treatment because we feel they need to go to treatment. Guess what? It didn't work. Right. I rebelled. How dare you? I ate more. I ate more, and I ate more, and I ate more, and I'll fix you, and I'll get back at you. And Dad, how dare you find somebody else to be in a relationship with after my mother died? You don't love my mother. How could you do this to me? It's total self-centeredness before the narcotics. Before the narcotics, thinking about me. And I understood somewhat. But I didn't want to understand the total picture because I was only thinking about me. And every woman that came into my father's life, you're not my mother, and you'll never be my mother. Stop trying to take my mother's place. Not wanting them to get close to me, because if I get close to you, like I've been close to my mom, and then you die, like my mom died, I'm going to have to go through all that funerals and all that pain, and I'm not having it. So stab! Hawk in the hand. And then you think about the pain that I was causing these women who came into my father's life and really wanted to love me. I didn't love me. I couldn't give you what I didn't have. And I couldn't receive what I didn't have because I didn't want it from you. I wanted my mother back. My mother died when I was 11 years old. And I was always taught, God is grace and God is good and bless my food. And I got good grades and I was a good kid and I didn't get in trouble. I just ate a lot, but I was a loving and caring individual. If God is so good, why did He take the most important person out of my life? God, I'm going to show you now. I'm going to get even with you, God, honestly. I didn't know, but I said, God, I'm going to be you and you're going to be me. And that's when all this stuff took place. It's control. I thought God dealt me a bad hand. And if He was so loving and caring, why would He deal me a bad hand because I'm not a bad kid? Couldn't understand. I went to church. I sang in the choir. I did all that stuff. And this is how you repay me? Total self-centeredness. Before the substances. Locked into a way of thinking. Condemned by my own guilt, a prisoner of my own mind. Couldn't let my brothers get close to me. And one of the most freakiest things that ever happened to me was when I was a little boy and I was in a bathroom, going to the bathroom, and another little boy rubbed his groin up against mine, and I got to arrest him. And I loved it. I loved it. Because guess what? It felt good. And I thought if something felt good, then it was good for me. And guess what? It felt better than dealing with the pain of being called your fat slob. Rerun. That's right. What are you going to eat today? Come along. So I found something to help me forget about that reality. And guess what? I have obsessive-compulsive behavior, so guess what? When this no longer started happening to me, I started making it happen with other little boys when I was a little boy. I was talking about being the volunteer, never mind the victim. I'm talking about taking hostages and being a terrorist. Ayatollah of insanity. Fixed idea, how good it felt. He's in another school, I'm in another school. Nobody's doing it to me. I got to do it to somebody else. I feel too good. And going to the bathroom and obsessing and looking in the urinal at this little boy and looking in that urinal at that little boy, wondering what's wrong with me? How come I can't stop this behavior? Why can't I stop this behavior? I don't want to stop it. It feels too good. I'm talking about committing to my disease, committing to addiction, a commitment to filling myself up with things outside of myself. This is where my commitment started. So of course, when I pick up a substance, what do you think happened? Snowball effect. A to X, alcohol to Xanax, every other drug in between. And I told you what happened to me the last day that I used. And guess what? It was familiar. Because I told you when I was little, I knew what a prick felt like in my mouth, y'all. So when that drug dealer zipped his pants down and showed me all them handfuls of cocaine, and as much as I wanted to step back, I went forward. And I never want to forget how I felt when he held my head back there before he ejaculated in my mouth. I never want to forget. I've got to tell you exactly how it was, the exact nature of the wrong. That's exactly what happened, and shit, it was wrong. And it was very painful. I don't want to dress up the last day. Because if I dress up the last day, then I'm going to end up with another new day. Another clean day. They say the one thing you got to change is everything. The one thing I'm not going to change is my clean day. That's the most important day I was born, y'all. They say clean time doesn't mean much, or clean time and everything. If clean time don't matter, get some or give yours back. If clean time don't mean nothing, go and detox and get a sponsor. My book is basic, not big. This is not Narcotics Anonymous. One disease, one program. I'm talking about addiction, not the drug. Addiction, that liar. Addiction, that filth. Addiction, that barricade. Addiction, that scum. Addiction, me, you're looking at it. I am the ultimate problem. Narcotics Anonymous is the ultimate solution. Let's get into the commitment to recovery. What is commitment? What is commitment? Commitment is another essential ingredient in unity. This is a unity day, right? Personal commitment to our shared sense of purpose is one of the ties that bind us together. One of the ties that bind us together. It ain't about, well, he got 3 years, she got 6 months, he giving her a ride home. You know what time it is. Reporters for the LA Gazette. Cisco and even, I know you're here. Write this down. Give me 4 stars. George Wilderness, get your gavels ready. They say those that judge don't matter, and those that matter don't judge. I want you to judge me, because the more you judge me, the harder I work at this to get you to not judge me. Please judge me. Please judge me. And do me a bigger favor. Bring it to me. That's right. Tell me to my face. That's right. Come on with that. That's right. Bring it to me. Because if you bring it to me, I can correct it. If you don't, I can't correct it. Commitment is also when we make a commitment to stay. We become a part of the greater whole. Our sense of belonging is closely related to our degree of commitment to recovery in Narcotics Anonymous. Talking about making 90 meetings in 90 days. Why? Just to make 90 more. Why? Just to make 90 more. Why? Just to make 90 more. And I'm not talking about newcomers. I'm talking about each and every one of us being available, making ourselves available for that person who might be looking for a sponsor. It ain't about, I got a life now, I ain't got to go as much. It ain't about, I got a job now, I don't get to go as much. It ain't about, I got a life now, I can't pray as much. I got this now, I can't do service as much. It ain't about that, man. It's about giving back freely what was freely given. Selfless service. Narcotics Anonymous is not a selfish program. Check this out. Step 12, page 117. Narcotics Anonymous is not a selfish program. In fact, the 12th step is grounded in the principle of selfless service. I came all the way down here from Providence, Rhode Island to tell the truth. I came down here to let you know how sick I am. See, because I need to say some things that's going to bust that image. Because, see, when you're on this traveling addict stuff, people tend to give you the power that they should be giving their higher power. And as soon as you show that you have a 6 and 7 step people, all of a sudden, you're becoming all that stuff. Part of being committed to recovery is coming here and stripping myself naked and showing you my fears, my doubts, my insecurities, and my weaknesses, as well as my strength, my hope, and my experience. It's about telling on me like Brother Brian did the other day. Committed to recovery. Recovery is active change in ideas, attitudes, and behaviors. So what that means is commitment. I must stay committed to doing the opposite of what I did prior to coming to Narcotics Anonymous. I must not manipulate, not lie, not cheat, not cast assassinate. That's change. I'm telling you what I must do, what I must be committed to, the things that the God of our understanding has laid down for us, and it follows them in that order. It ain't about 1, 2, 3, and 11. What about the cleansing steps? That's right. Just for today, talking about cleansing the soul, making amends, not to forget that we make So by coming here, I make an amends to society. I make an amends to all the people that I harmed that I'll never see again, that I can't make a direct amends to when I get to 9. People that are faceless, only knowing my face, not my name. You know the ones I'm talking about. The victims. The ones that I don't think about too often. I seem to think about the ones that I see on a regular basis. Family members. What about the ones that I'll never see again? By coming here and doing some service work and being right with me so I can get right with you, that's how I can get right with society. Meeting makers make it. This is education, not graduation. Remaining teachable, so my seek to be capable. About exposing some stuff so I can dispose of some stuff. Check this out. And I was sharing this with Brian yesterday. I said, I gotta say some things that's gonna bust this image that you might have of me, and that I might have of myself. I am not exempt from ego, pride, and image, and I do know that ego, pride, and image will kill me if I don't get honest. I was a kickoff speaker, Nova Scotia, Canada, month ago, 5 weeks ago. My first open. I never did a breakfast. I never did a banquet. I've been doing all these workshops the last couple of years, all these events. My first open. All expenses paid. A room. All that. I felt good about it. I felt real good about it. I got to Nova Scotia. I kicked off the convention. I wowed them, y'all. Because who I was there to serve. But I was there to serve people. And I forgot that I was there to serve God and not God's son. Because I got high off the applause. I got high off all the standing ovations. I got high off people coming up to me all weekend long. Oh, brother, it was so good to hear you. Oh, this and that. I even had a guy sit down and do his big step with me. He couldn't get honest with his father. He felt compelled that he could get honest with me. I was walking on air. And then this young lady felt compelled to tell me how she was so grateful that I shared about how we need to embrace newcomers and chronic relapses, and we need to love them and be there for them and not kick them to the curb because she had just recently relapsed and she was just coming back. And how she was afraid to approach me because, check this out, the guys in the United States that were there last year tried to 13-step all the newcomers. So there was a fear knowing I was coming from the U.S. All these expectations were placed on me before I came here. And after I shared what I shared, some, not all, but some of them expectations went away, so she felt compelled to tell me how she felt, how grateful she was. God sent me there and all that. And I was a gentleman. I didn't disrespect. I didn't try to get in her drawers. None of that. I didn't give any kind of innuendos, insinuations. About 3 o'clock in the morning, meet her, this other young lady. I was sitting up in my room, and we're kicking it, talking about recovery and this and that. And all of a sudden, the topic of sex came up. And the other one was like telling her what position she likes to do this in and what position she likes to do that in. And she's not showing on me, she's doing it with the girl. Put your leg up here and this and all that. And I'm like, oh, man. I never had no face of that. But at this point, check out, I became willing. Then it happened again. Well, let me show you. Well, I like it like this. Then the other girl showed the other girl, put your legs up there. And then the other girl wanted to leave, and then she said, well, if you leave, I'm going to kiss you. You got to know. I can't even tell the truth. Now, one who said that she was going to do that, she ended up leaving. I told the other, I said, well, I want to go to bed now. And she said, are you tired? I said, I'm very tired, but I'm not tired. And I told her really that, she had to leave, and I wanted to, not do anything. This is what was coming out of my mouth, but somebody else was telling me something different. And at that point, she pulled her pants down. She approached me and she took my hand and she placed it on the front of her body. And I said, wait a minute. I said, I thought that because of what happened. She said, that's why I'm doing it, because you didn't act the way anybody else acted last year, even the gentleman, and I just wanted to know. And I was in the crib. While I wasn't involved with somebody else. Because usually stuff happens like this to me since I've been clean while I am involved with somebody else. Now there is nobody else involved, and I thought I wasn't going to feel as bad, but I felt even worse. because this was time I needed to be with me. This is time I needed to be with God, because 4 weeks before that, I got engaged to a young lady, and 8 days after I gave her a ring, she told me she didn't want to be with me anymore. She told me she wasn't ready. It's been enough. It ain't been enough. Because if it was enough, I wouldn't have felt the way that I felt. By piling new shit on top of old shit. I want to let y'all know what's going on in my life right now. Commitment to recovery is active change in ideas, attitudes, and behaviors. About a month and a half ago, my ex-wife, who was a member of this fellowship, I've been married in recovery, I've been divorced in recovery. I was with this woman for 3.5 years. When we got together, she had an 8-month-old baby, and on October 5th of 1991, me and her had a little girl. And I was 26 months clean, and I got to be there and watch my daughter born. And I got to cut the umbilical cord. One of the most proudest things in my life. And she told me that she had relapsed. I went to a graduation about 2.5 months ago. 2 months ago, I went to a graduation of our oldest one from Head Start. And I had just given my ex-wife her 5-year medallion, April 23rd. Excuse me. She told me at the graduation that she'd been drinking for like a month and a half. I was crushed. I was hurt. Not only was I hurt for her, but I was really hurt for the condition that my children were going to be in as a result of this lifestyle that they haven't ever seen before because she was 5 years clean. And I went back to my job and I couldn't focus on my job. I couldn't perform my job to the ability that I wanted to focus on my job, that my job had believed that I could. Because they had just laid off 30 people and they kept me and 2 other people because we were the best at what we did in that particular company. But I was too busy thinking about, is she laying down drunk somewhere, and are my kids starving, and are they being taken care of? And this is about the time that this individual told me that they were sick of me, and they didn't want to be with me anymore. The person that I gave the ring to. And let's talk about commitment, man. Let's talk about commitment outside of the room of Narcotics Anonymous for a moment. Let's talk about being committed to being a father, to being a dad. I'm not talking Toys R Us. I'm not talking about what goes in a toy box. I'm talking about my time, my love, and my commitment, and being available for another human being. I asked my job for a leave of absence because I saw what was going to happen. The state stepped in. They filed charges against her for neglect and abuse, and for my daughter, Philadephia, because she's been 27 pounds for like almost 2 years. She hasn't gained any weight, and she just don't like to eat, y'all. And I just felt though that I had to do something. I couldn't sit back, and I couldn't just let her fall by the wayside, and let my children be with foster people that they don't know, and you know all the people that happen in foster care. I couldn't allow that to happen. So, my job gave me the time off that I needed, and my ex-wife got a job. She started going back to meetings. She got a job working for Head Start. It's a volunteer job, but she needed to be there 40 hours a week for at least 5 weeks, and she couldn't afford a sitter. She couldn't afford daycare. There was nobody else to care for her. I said, I'll watch the baby. You go do what you need to do. Get your esteem back. She can come back home to Narcotics Anonymous. So every single day, I did it. I gave her back. I fed her breakfast. I fed her lunch. I fed her dinner. I'm talking about the last 5 weeks. I took him to the zoo. I took him to the park. I watched Barney with him. I played games with him. I washed their clothes. I washed their ass. That's being a father. That's being a dad. It's about what I tried. I love Narcotics Anonymous. The 12 steps gave me the tools to be what I'm being today. A productive, responsible member of society. It ain't about the $56 a week that I'm paying child support. It's what's behind the $56 a week. That's what it's about. I'm not ducking and dodging. I'm bobbing and weaving. Tuesday, my ex-wife went into treatment. Just before my ex-wife went into treatment, 3 weeks ago, Fonzie and I was living with. 2 years clean, took a hit off the pipe, flipped out of my house. I was asleep 7 o'clock in the morning, getting ready to go to the main feed, had some trick up in the house. I'm talking about a 400-pound man. Ripped his clothes off in the middle of my street, screaming, "Help! Help! Help!" He thought that I put a mafia hit on him, he said. My neighbor opened the door, forced his way to my neighbor's house, tore up her parlor, broke up her coffee table, traumatized the whole neighborhood. Little kids crying. I called 911, the rescue came. They brought him away in an ambulance. I called my sponsor right after I called 911. Commitment to recovery. Who to call before I fall? A sponsor, a guide, not a god. My sponsor met me at a hospital. Another addict on his way to my house to pick me up and take me to our men's meeting, our men's rap on Saturday morning. Told him what happened. Went to the hospital. He went into a detox for 5 days after that. I was crushed. My neighbors called my landlord. They went off on my landlord. My landlord went off on me. My landlord had my electricity shut off. The other day I went by there to pick up some things. 5 days ago, I went by my house that I've lived in for 4 years. I leased this house for 4 years. My neighbors called the cops on me because they thought that I was the individual who had used. And when they saw that I wasn't the individual who had used, when the police shined all the lights on me, not one neighbor stepped up to say, "No, it's not him. It's all right." And these are people whose kids have played with my kids. These are people that I have had barbecues with. These are people that, if you want to ask my neighbors how I'm living, I've been living all right. These are people who trust me with their things, and I trust with my things. Who watch my house when I go out of town, and I watch their house when they go out of town. Let me borrow the lawnmower, let me borrow a cup of sugar, whatever. And they not one excuse. Stepped up and say, "No, that's not the guy." So because of another addict's actions, they don't want me there no more. So now most of my stuff is there. Some of my stuff is at my kid's mom. Some of my stuff is at my dad. I got to get out of there. So I really don't have a permanent address right now. But I've stayed committed to Narcotics Anonymous by showing up at my HNI commitment at the minimum security prison Thursday nights. I've stayed committed to being a GSR in my home group, Freedom to Recover, Tuesday night, 7:30, traveling to Rhode Island. I've stayed to being a breeder at the door at my home group. I've stayed committed to being a program chair for the Greater Providence Area Convention of Narcotics Anonymous. I've stayed committed to presenting my sponsee a 2-year medallion last Tuesday night. I have stayed committed to being a father, a dad, a cousin, an uncle, a brother. In spite of life on life terms. And they don't go away just because We come up in here, I come up in here. God is good all the time. And He is. But how good am I to God? Am I staying on the schedule of prayer that God has scheduled me to stay on? Have I stayed obedient in every area of my life? And not justified and rationalize by saying, well, I know I fell short here, so I'll make up for it by doing this over here. I don't know God's thinking, but I know mine. Yeah. God is not codependent. He employs me, I don't employ him. Or her, or it, whatever the God of your understanding may be. Sixth tradition says that commitment to recovery. Check this out. If I'm going to be committed to actively changing my ideas, my attitudes, and my behaviors, it is none of anybody else's business but my own. What God I need to have in my life. Amen. I don't name God in narcotics anonymous. Amen. Because if I do, I deny you the right to have a God of your own understanding. I don't give God no label. Sixth tradition says we don't endorse any outside enterprise. And outside enterprise is something mentioned.
Thank you.
Outside enterprises, check it out, any other fellowship.
Come on.
Let's go there for a minute. Narcotics Anonymous is a separate and distinct fellowship in its own right. Our problem is addiction. The other 12 step fellowships specialize in other problems. And our relationship with them is one of cooperation, not affiliation. I don't say I'm an addict enough, you know what. That's like saying, well, I'm a vegetable and an asparagus. I'm an Afro-American and an African-American. Addiction, not the substance. We have our own language. And out of the spirit of unity and commitment to recovery, I don't have no business blasting somebody who doesn't use our language in the meeting in front of everybody else and humiliating them and knocking their chin and having them not. That's right. It's up to me to pull them aside individually and show him in writing and not be so self-righteous, but just to tell the truth in a loving and caring way. That this is about attraction, not promotion. Newcomers don't do what we say, they do what we do. That's right. I walk the talk today. I love Narcotics Anonymous more than anything in the world. I will fight to keep my clean day. I will. And I hope you will too. That's commitment to recovery. Doing the things that I don't like doing. Going that one extra meeting. Driving that one extra mile. Staying on the phone that one extra minute. Sponsoring that one extra ad. Preferably males. Sponsorship pamphlet talks about that. Yeah. They say, well, there are no musts in an ad. Basic text says we must use what we have or we'll lose it in a relapse. That sounds like a must to me. A suggestion in the dictionary defined as a subtle command. It suggests that men with men and women with women. Because if I'm going to sponsor a woman, then I'm not giving you my experience, I'm giving you my feelings. If I'm going to give you my feelings, you're going to give me yours, and guess where we're going to end up? Doing a horizontal box. Once again, as my friend Ron H. said, this is a harm reduction program. Harm reduction, not harm production. everybody got something out there. And I just want to say to the person that's new or just coming back, welcome home. This is the last house on the block. We have nowhere else to go but here. Check it out.